Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Y'all, let's craft. Welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you're here because I have a serious case of the scraps and I want to share one of my remedies with you. So here is just another small pile of scraps that I have. You can see that I have them in various sizes. I have got various cuts through them, so that gives me many pieces. I have scraps in all shapes and sizes, y'all, of chipboard. And we have got to do something with this because I know that some of you have a bad case of the scraps too, especially chipboard scraps. And today's project is my favorite of any scrap project that I have ever done. And I am going to bring it in and show you guys what it is. And guys, I used some of my scrap chipboard to make this super awesome adhesive caddy. It will hold 5 glue bottles and 6 tape runners that I use. And I think that this is just really cute. I'm going to hold it like this so that you can see the side. I put feet on it to turn it into a little piece of furniture. But this is really an adorable thing to have sitting out on your desk because it's stylish, but it is highly functional. We craft some gorgeous projects with a purpose. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to take our scraps, craft this wonderful adhesive caddy, and you'll have something fabulous to sit out on your desk, or you don't even have to put adhesives in it. You can actually place whatever it is you want to place, provided it will fit within the parameters of this project. So I am going to show you guys what we're going to need, and it's not going to take a whole lot. So we are going to be using some scrap chipboard. And you guys saw my chipboard scraps, so you know that I have scraps of all sizes, and this is how we're able to make these wonderful projects without cutting into a brand new piece of chipboard. Go through your scraps and make them fit what you need for them to be. So we have 3 pieces of chipboard that measure 5 by 4.5. We have 1 piece of chipboard that measures 5 by 2.5. And we have 1 piece of chipboard that measures 5 by 5. Now I have already added my adhesive to the back. Then I have my decorative papers that I'm going to be using, and I'm just using wrapping paper. So if you have some favorite wrapping paper, pull it out. If not, you'll need to join 2 pieces to get the length that I'm going to give you right now. So for the inside liner, you will need a piece that measures 4 3/4 by 11. And then we're going to need a piece of decorative paper that is at least 14 inches long by 6.5 inches wide. And that is where we'll be placing the chipboard. And then you're going to need a piece that is 12 by 12 to cover the sides. And you can use lightweight or medium weight, heavyweight, whatever it is you want to use to cover your side pieces. So let's go ahead and take our piece. And my piece is a little bit longer than 14 inches, but I'll be trimming off some. So let's go ahead and take our 14 by 6.5 inch piece, and I am going to remove my tape from the 5 by 5 piece. That's the back, so that's the first piece that I'll be putting down. Then I'll take the piece that I have marked the base, which is 5 by 4.5, and I am going to remove the tape from the back of that. And I am going to place that down using about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. We really won't need any more than that if you're using wrapping paper, especially because the wrapping paper is very thin. And then guys, when I was going through the list of supplies, I forgot to list that we're going to need a piece for the front that measures 1.5 by 5. So I am going to go ahead and put that down, giving myself about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. Again, the size of this piece is 1.5 by 5. So now I'm going to trim away my excess beautiful paper. Won't be throwing it away. And then all I'm going to do is just stand it up and fold over on all 4 sides. Now, if you are using a paper that has a tendency to crack, take your stylus or your bone folder, just press it against the chipboard and just score around all pieces of that chipboard, and that might help to reduce some of that cracking. So now we're going to do a miter cut, and basically I am going to come in and just cut at the edges just like that, because I want to get a nice clean little fold over. Then I'm going to take my tape runner, add some tape to these edges, and we're going to stick them to the chipboard. So let's just go ahead and fold over. And I'll fold over here. And grab my big old spatula so I can get that nice and stuck. And then I'll take this piece and we're simply going to fold it over. And so now, guys, I have my adhesive placed all over the back of my 4 3/4 by 11-inch liner piece, and I am standing up so that I can get fairly decent placement when I put this down. Not my straightest placement, but you know what? It'll do. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder to go in and get everything nice and stuck, especially in my spine area. So what I'm doing is just working that adhesive into that chipboard to make sure that everything is going to work exactly as I want it. And so this is what we have right now. All right, guys, so now we want to do the side pieces, and I actually swapped out the paper that I was going to use because I wanted to have these little gold dots that are on this paper. So this is from a Hobby Lobby paper pad. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just cut this in half so that I will have 6 by 12 for both pieces of my side pieces. So we have our paper cut. Now what we need to do is we need to cut an angle on this side piece. And the way that we're going to do that, it's really going to be very easy. On the 5-inch side, we're going to place our ruler, and then we're going to make a mark at 1.5. Then we're going to take that mark, place our ruler on that mark, and then just angle the ruler until we have it in the corner. And so basically what we're doing, we're going to be drawing a line from here to here, and that is what we will cut out. So I'm just going to place my ruler on my line. And I will just trim out my piece. And then once you have one piece cut out, you can use this piece as the guide for your second piece. So I am just going to take it, line it up just like that, and then I'll place it down, and we'll just draw another mark like that. And then I'll use my ruler, place it on the mark, and we're just going to trim out this piece. And then once we have these two pieces cut out, we're ready to go ahead and place them on our paper. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and just place my tape. I have tape on one side, but I want tape on both sides. And then I'll just take that little piece and place it right there. Trim that out. There is side piece number 1. All right, guys, so we're going to bring in our 12 by 6-inch piece. And the way that we're going to determine our placement is we're going to take our piece and press it up against the edge just like that. So you're going to put it in so that it looks like this. Then you're going to take your paper, fold it over, and what you want is you want to make sure that your paper covers all of that chipboard. If it doesn't, then you need to just slide it up in very small increments until the paper does fully cover. Once it does, then all I'm going to do is just make a crease so that I'll know where I really need to put that chipboard. So I am going to remove my backing from the tape. And now we're going to take this and we're going to place it down. And when I place it down, I'm going to place it down so that it is right there on the edge. And then when I fold this over, I'll have complete coverage. So the first thing that I want to do is I am going to go ahead and trim away my excess. And when I get to this point, I'll trim there, but then I'm also going to trim just following this particular angle. So it's going to look like that. Then I can remove my tape. I'm going to, and now I can take this piece and we're going to fold it just like that. We have complete coverage. So now all I'm going to do is cut out my shape. And so now I have my little side piece. I'll smooth it out, square that off, and you can see that we have edge-to-edge coverage. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're simply going to put it in, butt it against the edge, fold over the top to make sure that we have complete coverage. And if you don't, just start sliding it up just a little bit and testing it until you have that complete coverage. And then when you have that coverage, just make yourself a little crease. And then I'm going to remove my backer from the tape. And now we can take this and put it down. We're going to put it down as close to the edge as we can without going over the edge. And then I'll trim out that bottom piece. I'll trim that away. And then I'm just going to follow that angle so that we can remove this piece. And so now I'll peel away that backer sheet. And we're going to take this and just fold it over onto that piece. And get that nice and smooth. Now we can bring in our finger blade, X-Acto knife, scissors, whatever you're using. and trim away that excess. And then I'm going to use my big old spatula just to smooth out the top. We aren't going to throw these pieces away because we will be using part of them on that center divider. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to take our piece and we're going to do a test fit. So we're going to put it in just like that, and you can see that right here my point is sticking up a little higher than I want. And the way that we fix that is, that's the top. We're just going to remove a sliver from the bottom. You can put it in your cutter if you want. I am just going to eyeball a sliver. And now I'll take it, put it back in. And I have a good fit on this, so I am going to take this piece and now I'm going to remove the sliver from this piece. So I'm going to use that original piece as my guide, and I'll just cut away that little piece there. So now we should have two pieces that fall in the same place. So what you're doing is you're going to place it in and do a test fit. You want to make sure that this piece isn't sticking up above this piece and that everything hits from edge to edge. So now we're going to take our glue, and we are only going to place glue on the 3 raw edges of our chipboard. And we are using scraps, guys, and can you believe how beautiful this scrap-based project is going to be? So I am just running a bead of glue on all 3 ends, and I'll take this and I'm going to place it on the inside about 1/8 of an inch, and then I'll bring up the front, and you can see that I have it placed in about 1/8 of an inch. And all we need to do is press it down and squeeze in from the front and the back. And that is just helping our glue to make contact with the chipboard edge and the paper. And I love this color combo. Gorgeous. So once we have that one, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with this one. We're going to take our glue and place our glue on the 3 raw edges. And then we'll get this piece stuck just like we did the first one. So I'm just going to fill in with my glue. Try not to put too much. And so to make sure that I have my placement right, I am just going to take my tape runners and place them in. And now I can take this piece and I'm simply going to slide it into place just like that. And so now I can remove the tape runners because I know that all 6 of them are going to fit. I can press down, squeeze in at the back and at the front. And we're going to let this dry. And we're going to bring in our divider piece that measures 2.5 by 5. And I intentionally cut this bigger because I'm starting with 5 and you should start with 5 too, because your placement of these pieces here, your side pieces, might be different from mine. So it's better to start out with the piece larger than you need and cut it down. So I already know that I need to remove some of this, but what I'm going to do is take my ruler, place my ruler, And this looks like it might be about 4 3/4 of an inch. So I am going to bring in my scoreboard, and I am just going to trim at 4 3/4. And then I'll remove this piece. So always start with 5 and then trim down from there after you've done your test fits. So I'm going to bring this in, and now we can see that we have a very, very good fit on this. What I am going to do is I am going to take my little bottles of glue, and I am going to place my glue bottles in there just like that. And then I'm going to take that piece and pretty much butt it against the glue bottles because I really don't want them flopping all over the place. But before we put that in, I need to cover this in paper. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in my scrap pieces. And I'm going to trim away that excess on both sides. And I'll trim away some of that because really what I want is I want to fold that over like that. And we'll get that stuck. All right, guys, so I have added tape to the back after I did the fold over. And we're going to take another piece of that leftover scrap, and we're simply going to put this down so that we can have coverage on the front and the back. So I'm going to place that down just like that. And then I'll trim away all of my excess. So I'll use my spatula to get everything nice and stuck and squared. So now we have this. We are going to place glue on the 3 raw edges. And then we will put our little divider piece in place. So now we're going to take this piece and we are going to put it in. I'm going to try not to get my glue all over the place, but this is the messiest part of the project, is putting that little divider piece in, but it makes such a big difference. So I'm going to wipe away some of this excess glue. Even though it's going to dry clear, I'm still going to wipe away some of the excess. Then I am going to press down and press in on my sides to get this stuck. All right, this is already looking so cute, but we're going to add some feet. So I am going to take my little feet and my Reptile Glue, which will hold this just fine. And I am going to add 1 foot right there. Then I'll take my second one, put my glue on the second one. We'll take this one and put it right there. Then I'll take my third foot and we're going to put some glue and we'll place that one right here. And I'm might move these around in just a minute, but this is my placement for the moment. Then I'll take my last one, add my glue, and we're going to place that down just like that. And it does not take this reptile any time at all to really catch on this wrapping paper. It really seems to enjoy the wrapping paper. So I am going to take that and stand it, and then I'm just going to press down, helping that glue to stick. And now you can see how absolutely fabulous this little adhesive caddy is shaping up to be. All right, guys, so we pretty much have a completed adhesive caddy. But what I want to do is I have this sweet little dragonfly, and I want to place him right there on the inside. So I am again going to go to my handy dandy reptile and just place some glue on these wings and a little bit right there. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it down just like that. And I'll take my dragonfly, I'm going to place him right there in the middle. And so now that we have our dragonfly on the inside, he's still drying, I have this little handle, Tim Holtz. It was gifted to me in a swap. And I am going to just place this handle right here on the front, just to add to the overall cuteness of this little adhesive caddy. When you have this sitting out on your desk, it just makes your glue look even more beautiful than it already is. And so there we have it, guys. We have another beautiful, completed adhesive caddy, and it is so stinking cute. I am going to take these bottles and put them on the inside so that you can see we can get 5 bottles of the size bottles that I use. These are my refill bottles, so I place my glue in these. Whenever I need a new bottle, I just pull it out, refill the other one, and I'll put it back in this caddy. I will have a link in the description box for the bottles as well as the tape runners that I'm using, because I have based the caddy's measurements on these 2 items. So I am going to just place my tape runners in just like this, and you'll see that we can get 6 of these in here, and they look pretty good to me. So I am going to just slide this one over. We're going to bring that first one in so that you can see how that looks in all of its goodness. And these little caddies are so easy to make. And for my PFF club members, this is actually going to be the basis for our Valentine's swap that we'll be doing. We're going to be doing a loaded caddy, not necessarily with adhesives, but we'll start with this, and then we're going to load it up with all types of goodies and swap. So isn't that going to be exciting? So for those of you who are PFF club members, be on the lookout, because I'll be sending out notification about that swap. I am just going to hold these just like this because I want you guys to see all of this absolute goodness. And then I'll just set it back down so that you can see that when it's sitting out on your desk, this is what it's going to look like if you fill it with adhesives. You can put hand towels in these and put them in your bathroom. You can put all types of little things in here. You can make this as a manicure caddy. So many possibilities. But the bottom line is, whatever you choose to do with it, it is stinking cute. So I hope that you guys have loved this wonderful way to get rid of some of your chipboard scraps. If you have liked this video, and I certainly hope that you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. And if you're not a member of my monthly club, we'd love to have you join because we are having so much fun. In fact, we have a New Year's Eve party coming up. We're going to be online at 11:30 p.m. and ring in the new year together. So you guys be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.